Hello and a very warm welcome. I'm Rahul Kamal. You're watching the India Today Political Stock Exchange. In this week's edition, we focus first on Kerala. In the second part of the broadcast, we'll focus on the northern states of Punjab and Haryana. Why one from the north, one from the south? Because we want to keep viewers all across the country plugged in to India Today, Access My India's tracking poll, the Political Stock Exchange. I want to welcome our guests joining us for this special broadcast, representing the ruling BJP, Gaurav Bhatia. Squaring off against him on this broadcast, Tom Vadakan of the Congress. Also with us, one of India's foremost political pundits, Dr. Sandeep Shastri. With us also representing the CPM government in Kerala, Sunit Chopra. So welcome to all our guests. We will dive straight into Kerala. I'm changing the format from this week on just a bit. We will focus initially on the mood around the central government, around the performance of the Prime Minister and his ministers. The reason for this is that we're building up towards the big general election. So what the mood around the state government is not as significant as it was in the build-up to the assembly elections. So we're tweaking our format. We'll keep adjusting with the news cycles. Let's get started. I want to take up first the mood in Kerala. So just how satisfied are respondents in Kerala with the performance of the NDA government at the centre? I'll show you the tracking data from October 2018 to January 2009. The level of satisfaction with the Modi Sarkar has come down by 3%. Now remember, Kerala isn't a bastion of the BJP, but every state matters. The BJP hopes to make inroads in Kerala, so a 3% decline in 3 months is indicative of the fact that the performance of the government is not being appreciated and the popularity of the government isn't on the upward climb. How dissatisfied are respondents in Kerala? The level of dissatisfaction going up just 1 point from 38% to 39%. The number of people who think the government is average has come down from 23% to 18%. But what is also substantial and interesting is that the number of people who say they don't know what to make of the government has doubled from 7 to 14%. So confusion. Are they even doing a good job? People in Kerala don't know. These are the people who can go either side. So that's number one. Who is the preferred choice for Prime Minister in Kerala? Remember, again, Kerala isn't Narendra Modi's bastion. However, his popularity has been relatively high. How are things right now in January 2019? When this question was asked, 38% of the respondents in October had said they wanted Rahul Gandhi as Prime Minister. That number has gone up in January to 41%. So that 3% increase is the same decrease that we saw in the popularity of the Modi government. So 3% people seem to have moved away from the BJP, Narendra Modi fold to the Congress fold. That's one takeaway. On the other side, when the question was asked about Narendra Modi, in October, 31% of the respondents said they wanted Narendra Modi as Prime Minister. That now has come down to 30%. So that's the first initiating point of this conversation. Rahul Gandhi's performance and popularity up 3%. The popularity of the Modi Sarkar down by 3%. The Prime Minister's own popularity down by 1%. Gaurav Bhatia, the BJP was hoping to make substantive inroads. This is also the period when the Shabarimala agitation has happened. The BJP has been very active, organizing a lot of protests. That doesn't seem to have improved the perception around the popularity of your government at the centre.
Rahul, first of all, I would say that there are some measures taken by the central government that impact each and every poll-bound state. And general elections would be contested on, national issues, Narendra Modi ji being the tallest leader in the country. You very rightly also pointed out the Shabarimala issue. While we respect the verdict of the Honorable Supreme Court, but we do feel that, it is a matter of faith, and therefore we have strongly raised the issue in Kerala. We should also not forget that, the government has been challenged by the BJP very strongly on a lot of issues. BJP and RSS workers have also been targeted for that. You must also remember how the Congress indulged in slaughtering a cow in Kerala and having a beef party, hurting the sentiments of the Hindu community. And I think all these issues of dignity for the Hindu community, fighting for their honor, have been raised by our party.
Sandeep Shastri, Gaurav Bhatia is absolutely correct. The BJP has been raising these issues. I've spoken to the senior most leaders in the Bharatiya Janata Party, and they were telling me that their belief was that this will see a sharp surge in the popularity of the BJP in Kerala. The political stock exchange tracking data suggests that that isn't necessarily the case. Over the last 3 months, when the Shabarimala agitation has played out, instead of the popularity levels going up, the government's popularity has come down 3%, the Prime Minister's personal popularity down as well. What do you make of this?
Rahul, I think we need to understand the fact that we are talking about Kerala, which has its own politics, which has its own dynamics. While the BJP has been trying to expand its space in Kerala, let's remember also this is a state where there is an entrenched two-alliance competition. So to break into that two-alliance competition is not an easy task for any party to do. So I think that's something which the stock exchange data seems to indicate, that the voter in Kerala is looking at very different issues in his or her state. And the fact of the BJP government in Delhi having done a lot, as per what Rahul Bhatia ji says, does not seem to have an impact in Kerala, because the nature of politics of Kerala is very different.
From what Sandeep Shastri is saying, that while the two-party system is entrenched, the BJP has been very active on the ground in Kerala the last few months. It may not immediately show up in the PSC data, but they're capturing mind space, they're out on the ground, they're trying to appeal to the Hindu sentiment, as Gaurav Bhatia says, in the hope and belief that this will yield dividends as you get closer to the general elections.
Rahul, the problem is a lot of people don't understand the scenario that's the ground reality in Kerala. This is a very peace-loving state where tourism flourishes. And essentially you had a flood situation, we have just recovered from that. Recovery is a wrong word to use, they're still suffering from that. And then you had Shabarimala, which was almost a man-made disaster, I call it. Religion apart, anything apart. But point is, disruptors are not welcome in Kerala. We want peace, we want tranquility, we are believers, but we draw a line where our lives should not be disrupted. Now the question is, we are a wired community. Communication is there right up to the village. The urban-rural divide is very limited. The point is, you don't know where a village ends and the city begins. It's almost mingled. Communication, all your national channels are available. And equally well, they are being watched by the locals, and the same stories get repeated. Now let me complete. Now if a CBI chief is removed, that creates a mercurial sink, which is not understood here in Delhi.
So there's nothing in the data around the CBI chief. So let's not, because Rahul Gandhi's popularity is going up.
This is an ongoing process.
Don't get ahead of yourselves.
I just gave you an example how events in the national level.
No, you're free to draw that interpretation.
Reflect.
There is nothing in the data which suggests that, but that's your interpretation. Gaurav wants to counter. Yes.
You know, I don't know about the CBI chief's removal, whether that would affect the mindset of the Keralites, but I am sure that the reservation policy that has been brought by Narendra Modi ji's government for the EWS section of the upper caste and the general category would definitely resonate with the common man.
But that's in time. Okay.
And second, no, one more point.
That's
later.
If you look at the survey itself, it says, has BJP emerged as a political force in the Kerala due to...
So don't get ahead of myself. I am the anchor. You're reading out graphics I haven't put out just yet. Hold that thought for a moment. I want to go across to Veera Raghav, who's joining us, to understand what he makes of the fact that the popularity of the Narendra Modi government at the centre is down 3% over the last 3 months in Kerala. This is also the period when the Shabarimala agitation has played itself out. The BJP thought that would yield dividends. Instead, the popularity seems to be on a downward spiral. Why do you think that's happening, Veera Raghav?
Well, I think, Rahul, you need to distinguish between two factors here. One is the ideological presence on the ideological base that the RSS BJP wants to build in a state like Kerala. And the second factor is Narendra Modi himself and governance as an issue. I think economic issues of troubles that you had with RBI governor, issues like the Rafale deal, questions being raised. Kerala is the kind of a state which is politically extremely aware. So they might make a very different judgment vis-a-vis the central government or its performance, given the kind of debate that one has seen. given the kind of politics that one has seen, the focus that one sees on issues which are away from governance from that state's point of view. But at the same time, Rahul, we need to look at this fact that when you take Shabarimala, and since you mentioned Shabarimala, I think in popular discourse, what's happened with the Shabarimala issue is that the issue has become left versus right. Remember, Kerala is left versus Congress so far. The Congress seems to have ceded space in that debate as far as the BJP is concerned, which has taken the lead. Whether this translates into electoral politics, we don't know as yet.
Okay.
But what it gives the BJP is a plank in Kerala.
That's important. So let's now focus on Shabarimala for a moment. I want to show you the results to the question that was asked around whether Shabarimala is helping the BJP. This is interesting because that's been the one major political religious agitation playing itself out the last several weeks in the state. So when we asked people, has Shabarimala helped the BJP? 45% of the respondents, that's almost half of all respondents, said yes, they believe that Shabarimala was helping the BJP. 1/3 of the respondents, 33%, said no, it's not helping the BJP. 22% say they don't know. So 1 in 5 are confused, but almost half the respondents think this is helping the BJP. What's your view on the Shabarimala issue? When this question was asked, 42% of the respondents, that's the largest set of respondents, believe that this was desecration of the holy shrine. 1 in 4, that's 23% of the respondents, said that this is about gender justice and equality for women. 16% said play by the law, just uphold the Supreme Court verdict. Only 2% thought that this was a left versus right war. So only 2% actually expressed their opinion explicitly, saying that they thought this was left versus right. 17% said they simply don't know. Now, Tom Vadakan, respond to the point that Veeraraghav was making, that the data suggests that the BJP is making inroads. It may not immediately reflect in overall popularity numbers, but when it comes to mind space, the BJP is making this a left versus right war. The Congress runs the risk of being isolated.
Not true. Essentially, what has happened is the percentage of people who are supporting the BJP have been there. I mean, there's no change. But what has happened is the OBCs and the other communities have taken a position. Now, which has created a situation which, in terms of electoral politics, will be counterproductive for the BJP. They have created a space, they've grabbed headlines, disrupted, you have buns, you name it, they've created it. But the point is, the visual of the visual and the script of the BJP president saying that we were responsible, that there's a sting operation which is in public domain, not our creation, says that we created it, we have done this to increase our strength in Kerala. This is across on television screens, okay? Number two, the communication between the BJP president and the pujaris on the site are also in public domain. Now the point is, if this was essentially just an issue on which the BJP thought they could gallop into power, they're mistaken, because public perception in Kerala is different.
Sunit Chopra, 42% of the respondents think that allowing women into the Shabarimala Sanctum Sanctorum amounts to desecration of the shrine. Clearly, the public mood in Kerala seems to be at odds with the position the Pinarayi Vijayan government has taken.
Not really, because the majority of people say it's a question of law and order. From your own figures.
No, only 16% are saying that. Only 16% say that this is about upholding the Supreme Court verdict.
16% is not a small number. People in Kerala want peace and development and governance. And this is linked to the way the flood damage has been tackled, the way the government delayed money to come to Kerala, and also the way the government has taken
Mr.
one
Sunit
position
Chopra,
in New Delhi.
just pause for a moment, listen to what you're saying. You're
And
saying
this has
16%
gone
is not a
down
small
quite
number.
badly.
That's true. But that
Despite
is
their faith.
substantially lesser than the
Faith is one thing.
42% who say this is
Faith
about
is
desecration
one
of the
thing.
shrine. You have to know how to read and interpret the data. 16% is a big number, but when you compare it with 42, it's a much
but
smaller number. So you have to read the data properly.
People are not questioning their faith. In an election, people do not question faith. They are questioning governance, they are questioning development, they are questioning peace and order. Elections have nothing to do with faith. I have my faith and I can still vote against the BJP and the right. The other thing is, in the right versus left thing, if the BJP and Congress both eat into the right, then the left will do better.
Okay, Veera Raghav, 45% of the respondents think this is helping the BJP. 42% of the respondents say this is about desecration of the Shabarimala shrine, clearly suggesting that the BJP could be on to something big, that they could have picked up the pulse of the voters of Kerala, the Hindu majority over there, and they could be tapping into that restlessness and that sentiment.
I think that's putting the cart before the horse. This is purely just, I'm speaking only from the point of view of Mindspace on this debate. And that gives the BJP an entry. They might build on it, they might not build on it, I don't know about that. And having said that, Rahul, I was just listening to the debate that you were having. 2 points. One, those who believe that the entry of women should have not happened are more vociferous in Kerala. The rest of them, and remember, they might be a silent majority, they might not express that point of view so openly, but I think there is a very strong undercurrent in people who believe that the rule of law, the constitution had to be upheld, and I think within the circles, ideologically, Pinarayi Vijayan has emerged as someone who is ensured that the rule of law remains there in Kerala, at least a symbolic victory to those fighting for rights. And Kerala is the kind of state which does respond to it. Now, there is a Hindu Orthodox. Remember, the minority population as well is there. I think within the Hindu vote, I think the Hindu Orthodox may be supporting the issue, but progressive Hindu groups, including Dalit groups, have been backing Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan on this
Gaurav Patil, if you respond to it, while you're trying to turn this into left versus right, what this could do is polarize sentiment around Pinarayi Vijayan and the CPM government and show that they stood up for rights, for equality, which is a very important sentiment in the state of Kerala.
Rahul, I would put it this way, let's not lose sight of the numbers that the BJP had in the 2014 elections when we got 282 seats on our own. The percentage that we got in Kerala was 10%. Your survey clearly indicates that around 45% of the people who have been surveyed feel that yes, BJP has emerged as a force.
No, they're saying this helps the BJP. It doesn't mean they'll vote for the BJP.
So I get your point, but I'm trying to make a point that 45% is a very sizable number to show that BJP has struck a chord with the people of Kerala. Second, if you see desecration of Shabarimala shrine itself, 42% feel that yes, it is desecration of Shabarimala shrine. So therefore, the BJP stand is finding approvers in Kerala, and most importantly,
that's true,
on law and order. But law and order and the implementation of the judgment is the duty of the state government.
I just want
so they have failed in their duty also. That also the people of Kerala are watching.
I just want to put this in context. In 2014, the BJP won 0 seats in Kerala and they picked up about 10.45% of the vote. Right. In the assembly elections that happened in 2016, they picked up about 10.53% of the vote. The Congress had 23% of the vote, the CPM 26%. So which essentially means, Sandeep Shastri, that even if they improve their performance, the gap between them and the Congress and the left is so much that turning a few extra votes into seats in time for the Lok Sabha elections is that much tougher. What this requires is the kind of wave that we saw in Tripura, where the BJP went from 1.5%, 2% of the vote to 50% of the vote. That is very difficult to make happen.
It's a triangular fight in Kerala, Rahul. So therefore,
Sandeep Shastri.
Rahul, I would concede the point you are making, and I think there are multiple textures involved here. At one level, if people say that the BJP has taken the advantage in the debate, that need not necessarily translate itself into votes in an election. And I think the situation from Tripura is very different. In Kerala, there is a clearly entrenched two-party competition. In Tripura, the BJP was able to make an inroad because the Congress totally conceded that space in Tripura to that party. We are not seeing that happening in Kerala. I think the competition very clearly is there between these two allies, and between these two alliances. And let's also remember that in the recent past, the Congress has tweaked its position, and important leaders of the Congress have taken a position on Shabarimala, which to a certain extent looks very similar to the BJP position. So let's also keep in mind that the Congress's stand has seen a shift in order possibly to gain the electoral advantage in the competition with the left.
Okay, I want to take you through now very quickly the performance of the Pinarayi Vijayan government in Kerala. How do people perceive the state government to be doing? When this question was asked in October 2018, 42% of the respondents said they were satisfied. That level of satisfaction is now down 3% to 39%. That's not good news. The level of popularity is not going up. Instead, it seems to be coming down by 3%. The number of people who say they are dissatisfied has gone up from 27% in October 2018 to 31% now, which means a 4% increase in the level of dissatisfaction with the Pinarayi Vijayan government. The number of people who think its average is about 1 in 5, from 26, that number is down to 20. The number of people who don't know has gone from 5 to 10. Sunit Chopra of the CPM, this is not good news from your government's perspective. The number of people who are dissatisfied is up 4%. The number of people who are satisfied with your chief minister and his government is down 3%.
Well, you know, this is a poll, and these polls change over months of work. The Pinarayi Vijayan government has maintained peace in Kerala, is determined to make sure that both governance and law and order do not suffer. There has been a situation which would have been a chaos in any other state. Kerala has been able to resolve the issue. It takes time for people to actually come down to understanding how they have been saved from a major situation like Punjab in the old days with Bhindranwale in the Golden Temple. So you must understand that Vijayan has handled this extremely well. And 1 or 2% here there doesn't really matter. And the competition between the BJP and the Congress for this chaos has resulted in a situation where I think
Mr. Chopra's understanding of history and ideology clearly stronger than his understanding of data. When the gap between the Congress and the CPM has traditionally been less than 3%, a 3% difference in mood swing away from the government, Mr. Chopra, does make a big difference. So don't say it doesn't make a difference, because that is not correct. How do people perceive the performance of the Chief Minister? See, why both these questions are asked is important, because if both of them are moving in the same direction, you pick a trend. Here the direction is the same. Pinarayi Vijayan's own popularity has come down from 27% in October to 25%. So popularity down with the state government and the Chief Minister as well. Uman Chandy, on the other hand, has gone up by 2%, 20 to 22. He's still 3% behind the Chief Minister, but the gap is narrowing. Achyutanandan, from 12 to 14, his popularity has actually gone up, and Ramesh Chennithala from 7 to 12. So there is a trend there, but the point is, who will benefit? Tom Vadakan, that's the critical question. The popularity of the state government is coming down, but you're also ceding space, and people think Shabarimala will benefit the BJP.
Well, Rahul, that's a ground reality. I mean, that's, I think you're dot on, and your research is dot on this, because there is a perception that Pinarayi Vijayan has not stood up the test of time. While he talks about holding the strength of the constitutional position and what have you, you have that there is some board going in for appeal in the Supreme Court. Now, this first was denied by the comrades, but the ground reality is it has happened. So you have a double position there, A. B, according to certain figures that were given out by Pinarayi Vijayan administration, about 6,000 or maybe 7,000 people have received compensation during the floods. And the reality is we haven't recovered from the flood situation. Comradeship and be what it may, but the issue here is relief has not reached the common people. They're suffering.
Okay, final words, Veera Raghav, on Kerala. What do you see change? This is where things are. The state government on a downward decline, the central government also going down. People in Kerala just seem unhappy with the state government and the central government, and the level of unhappiness seems to be building. How do you see the situation change between January and April, May? Veera Raghav.
Well, it's an anti-establishment state. It has traditionally been anti-establishment and has questioned people in power aggressively. So I don't expect satisfaction levels with any government to be high in a state like Kerala. If you take past polls in previous years, you will see that satisfaction levels traditionally of a ruling government have been ruling governments have had issues there. But having said that, limiting to the discourse at the moment around the Shabarimala issues that you have picked up, I think it's the left versus Congress firmly in Kerala, but the left stands to gain, but the Congress seems to have been, the BJP seems to be eroding a bit into the Congress's vote share. So if the BJP wants to build itself in Kerala, it will be at the cost of the Congress, and that's what the Congress needs to watch out for.
Okay, I'm going to leave this there. We're just pausing Kerala. We'll return to it in about 8 weeks from now. You're watching part 2 of the political stock exchange. This week we're focusing on Punjab and Haryana. I'll start with Punjab, where there are some very fascinating banner headlines emerging from the political stock exchange data this week. I'll start with the level of satisfaction with the central government. Remember, we saw this in the Hindi heartland where there was some anti-incumbency, especially with state governments at the center. In Punjab, the level of satisfaction with the Modi Sarkar has actually gone up, which is interesting because the government is at the fag end of its tenure. This is when you expect anti-incumbency to be building. From 31 in October 2018, 36% of the respondents tell us they are satisfied with the Modi Sarkar. The number of people who are dissatisfied is also coming down 2% in October 2018 to 40% in January 2019. Those who think the government has been average has come down from 25 to 18%, and those who say they don't know is from 2 to 6. So the headline there, a 5% increase in the popularity of the Modi Sarkar. Is this also being seen in the popularity of the Prime Minister himself? Who do people in Punjab want as India's next Prime Minister? Remember, this is where the BJP Akali coalition was unpopular. They were voted out very dramatically. What's the mood now? Are things turning around? In October 2018, 36% of the respondents said they wanted Rahul Gandhi as Prime Minister. Now that number has gone up to 37. From 36 to 37, pretty much where it was. So there's not much change, but the trend holds firm. On the question of whether they wanted Narendra Modi as Prime Minister, from October 2018, when the number was at 32%, that's now gone up to 34. So kahin khushi, kahin gum. Gaurav Bhatia, the popularity of the state government is up 5%, but there are more people who are dissatisfied with your government than there are satisfied. So net, you're still in deficit.
No, I think, if you look at the numbers, the level of satisfaction has gone up by a significant 5% when it comes to the central government. And also, dissatisfied people have come down from 42 to 40. So that's a double bonanza, I feel. And the ratings of Narendra Modi ji also have gone up by 2%. So there is a very clear trend by all these three indicators that people are reposing their faith in Narendra Modi ji, and there is a reason for that. These social schemes that have been introduced by Narendra Modi ji, the Ayushman Yojana, as on last count 8 lakh people had benefited. For 70 years of independence, India never had a social security scheme providing medical treatment. The Mudra Yojana, plus the Ujjwala Yojana, 6 crore cylinders being given to, the women of the country, I think is empowering them. And especially, I think, we are discussing Punjab. Let's not forget the 84 riots verdict that has come. Top leaders of the Congress have been found to be guilty. They receive political patronage, and I can surely say it would resonate with the people of Punjab. It's a very
Sandeep
important
Shastri,
issue.
you can look at the glass as being half full or half empty depending on which side of the political spectrum you're on. Yes, the popularity of the central government and the Prime Minister has gone up, but the number of people who are dissatisfied is still more than the number of people who are satisfied. The question is, between January and April and May, can the Prime Minister cross the hump? Can the number of people who are satisfied go up? It's going up 5% in the last 3 months. Do you think the trend will accelerate or stall at this level?
Going by your data, Rahul, it seems to be that the BJP has some good news when it comes to Punjab, if you look at what is being suggested. Now, I would like to add a point at this stage, which is, let's remember that you have a Congress government in the state. And whenever we have had different governments in power at the state and the center, the citizen response has been very, very different. Let's also remember, in the case of Punjab, the victory of the Congress was an Amrinder Singh victory and was not seen as a victory of the leadership in Delhi. So I think we need to budget in both these factors when we talk about how the voter in Punjab is positioning himself or herself when it comes to a national election.
Okay.
The BJP may be having a little
the trend
more
here, and remember when the Akali government was in power, there was unhappiness, and we saw that reflected in the assembly elections. Since then, the BJP seems to have recovered some ground. Now, there are 2 or 3 pointers. You know, one, of course, the 1984 riot case. Verdicts, whatever the reasons may be on the ground, the fact is people seem to believe that the government is doing better than it was in October 2018.
Rahul, 1984, they're trying to get advantage of it in Punjab. Well, that could have effects in Delhi. Yes, affected people were in Delhi more. But the point is, in Punjab, what they don't figure is, they are combined with Akali Dal is the only scope for survival. Now, the point is, when they have separated, in sense that when you look at the Akali performance, and when you say their performance is better, they cannot survive in a combined. So naturally, steeped in corruption, the Akalis and the BJP at that time, so they were taking the beating of the Akali setbacks. Now, apparently, if you look at it statistically, point is well taken that they have an advantage because they are minus that corruption. But when it comes to electoral politics, Akali is going to join hands because BJP by itself cannot survive in Punjab. Let's face it. And this is not Tripura, this is not any other state where they can manage it. They need to combine. And when they combine, the story comes back. Do you want that Akali BJP combined with the kind of disasters that were made there?
Okay.
People do remember and they don't forget that fast.
What I want to do is come now to the next data set, which really, to my mind, is the big takeaway from the Punjab numbers emerging from the political stock exchange. Now, listen very carefully to what I'm saying, then you'll pick up the story. We asked respondents, are you satisfied with the performance of the state government? Look at the numbers and remember what I'm saying. The number of people who are satisfied with the state government in Punjab has jumped from 28% to 34%. That's interesting. A 6% jump for the state government is a big jump. That's important. Remember this. The number of people who are dissatisfied has come down from 45% to 41%. So both are saying the same thing. Number of people satisfied going up, number of people dissatisfied is coming down. Let's now shift to the next question. This is about the popularity of the Chief Minister and who respondents in Punjab want as the next Chief Minister. You'd be surprised with the data that's coming on your screen, which says that Amrinder Singh's popularity has declined rapidly. In all the political stock exchange data that I've been tracking, there hasn't been a 9% decline or jump in any metric in any state. So this is quite substantive. A 9% fall in the popularity of Captain Amrinder Singh as the choice for next Chief Minister. Prakash Badal is at 29%. In October, he's now down to 24%. So just hold that for a second. So what is happening? If the popularity of the state government is going up quite substantially, and the popularity of the Chief Minister is coming down. How do the both of them make sense? That's a baffling question till the time you see the rapidly surging popularity of Navjot Singh Sidhu. Sidhu's popularity has jumped 400%, from 4 to 16. His popularity at this moment is just about half that of Amrinder Singh, but his graph is on the rise. There hasn't been any other metric, any other neta in any other state whose popularity has jumped 12% in 3 months. Now, Tom Wadakan, you could have civil strife in your cabinet where Amrinder Singh starts feeling Sidhu's pulling the rug from underneath his feet.
Well, I don't see that happening in Congress government. We are very disciplined people. We know when the leadership decides that we have a chief minister, and then it is clearly crystal clear that they will work together. This is not a situation where the rugs are pulled or whatever. Chance will come for everybody. There is enough scope for Mr. Sidhu to come up. There's time, but now the leadership is with Amrinder Singh ji. And yes, if you notice something, Prakash Singh Badal from 29 has come to 24, and Sukhbir Badal from 12 he has moved to 8.
Sir, unko chodo na, apna dekho. You have a problem on your hand. You have, 1 second.
We have 2 leaders.
No, you have
who are rising.
Wow, 1 second.
Good enough.
You know, for anybody who understands Punjab politics, Amrinder Singh is a formidable leader on the ground. He won Punjab on his might. He now has Sandeep Shastri, a challenger in his ranks. A challenger whose popularity, despite his displeasure, seems to be going up very rapidly. Can peace prevail? Because Amrinder Singh knows this is his last innings. Will peace prevail? Can Rahul Gandhi ensure that? Or will there be some kind of an outburst soon?
Right. Rahul, 2 points on this. Number 1, when respondents express their preference for a chief minister candidate, it's invariably linked to which party they support. Sure. So what's clearly happened in this case is those earlier who favored Amrinder Singh as the chief ministerial candidate may have now moved to Sidhu, and that's an internal dynamic of the Congress party. Similarly, in the case of Akali Dal, the division between the father and the son. So I would not read too much into saying that there is a threat to Amrinder Singh's leadership. I would prefer to call it that within the Congress space now, there is also the...
Dono haath mein laddu, Gaurav Bhatia. That's the perspective really the Congress can give. You've got Amrinder Singh, he's in the saddle, there is no threat to him. And instead of Sukhbir Badal having a chance, if Sidhu keeps rising over the next few years, as Amrinder gets set to walk into the sunset, they've got Sidhu who's ready to go out and take guard.
Rahul, I think we are not factoring in one very important thing, that Congress government in Punjab came making very tall promises regarding the farmers' distress. Still, the farmers feel cheated because they have not waived the loan that they had promised. They had also promised that every family would be given 1 job at least. That promise has not been fulfilled. And, you know, there was this problem of drugs there, which has also not been tackled by the Congress. And I think the infighting, which has become very symbolic of Congress, is the biggest trouble they face in every state that we are talking about.
Okay.
And this would go against the Congress, not in their favor, because especially in the general elections, I think Narendra Modi ji's persona, coupled with the fact we have a very reliable ally in Akali Dal, will help us a lot, and anti-incumbency has also set in Punjab.
Okay, you know, so why is Sidhu's popularity going up? You know, you can't just randomly have a 400% increase in his popularity in just 3 months. There has to be a reason. I'll put that reason now on our screen because the next question answers that. Who do you give credit for the Kartarpur Corridor initiative? When this question was asked, 42% of the respondents said Navjot Singh Sidhu. If Sidhu is watching this broadcast, he'll be sending some laddus to our producers very soon. Narendra Modi gets only 15% of the credit. That's because, frankly, it was Sidhu's initiative. He got the bouncers, he got the googlies, he took them on his chin. In the end, he hit it out of the park. Amrinder Singh gets only 14% of the credit. The Badal family gets only 9%. Sidhu at 42% of the credit. Now, a lot of the mood outside of Punjab is that when there is violence coming from Pakistan, when terror attacks continue, why should we talk peace? So we asked the question, was it a good idea for Sidhu to go to Pakistan? Now, regardless of what the mood may have been in other parts of the country, 52% of the respondents in Punjab said Navjot Singh Sidhu had done the right thing. That's half the respondents. So clearly suggesting that the mood in Punjab is very different from the mood in the rest of the country. So Sidhu caught on to something that others failed to do, you know.
Yes.
And the fact is that Punjabis always have a closer tie to Pakistan. Many of them come from Pakistan, so there may be anger in other parts of the country. Punjab never feels the anger in quite the same way. Sidhu's thought of as a cricketer, as a non-serious politician. This data suggests that that may not be true. He's got the pulse, he's got the stadium rooting for him.
That's true. That's what has happened. The reality is there for everybody to see. He's done a very good job, and there was everybody with
Sir,
brickbats
Sidhu is
against
ambitious,
him, but the bouquet...
Amrinder Singh is a Fauji, he's firm. He won't tolerate indiscipline. You could have a problem on your hands.
And he got the pulse of people. What is important?
He criticized Sidhu
What is
for
important?
hugging General Bajwa.
And the man is sending murderers to our country. He's sending terrorists to our
He
country.
can hug anybody. Prime Minister
Not the
of
Pak
India,
Army
who
chief.
can hug Pakistani
So he didn't hug
leaders.
the Pakistani army chief.
No, army chief.
And you are hugging him when soldiers are laying
When
down
the
their
army
life for the country.
president and
You
the
have to
other
be
leaders
sensitive
were
to
hugged
these
by the
issues.
Prime Minister, they all look the other way. Here is Mr. Sidhu
Sidhu
going
ji
there,
is not the
hugging.
Prime Minister of the
I mean,
country.
hugging is
Something
okay
a
with them.
meeting
So anyway,
done
listen,
diplomatically
Rahul, hugging is
cannot
okay
be
with them.
equated to
But
a
when
visit to
anybody
Pakistan by
shows some
Sidhu.
civil behavior, they're worried. They're worried for what?
So the point is, no matter what you and I think of the hug with the Pak Army chief, the people who matter most to Sidhu, which are voters in Punjab, seem to think Sidhu sahab chha gaye. That's the fact. His numbers are jumping. He's hitting 1-6 after another. There will be strife as a result of this. But Sidhu right now is on a firm wicket. Yes, very quickly, because I need to get to Haryana.
Rahul,
see, the
we all
problem
know
with this
that it
political
was the
stock exchange
initiative of
is,
the
if we
central
announce we do a particular state and then we don't give enough time to it, all our viewers in Haryana are going to be very upset. So I need to zip
I'll
through.
only take 15 seconds and no more. We all know that it was due to the efforts made by Narendra Modi ji and the central government that this dream became a reality. And no matter what the survey indicates, I think all the Indian perspective...
Where the government's popularity is going up, you like the survey. Now they're giving Sidhu popularity, you don't like
I'm
it.
entitled
ऐसे नहीं होता ना
I'm
sir.
entitled to
But you
my
can't cherry pick the
disagreement.
data.
No, I'm not cherry
Kartarpur
picking. I'm
BJP.
saying something
That's
else
very
if you allow me
interesting.
to complete. I'm saying Kartarpur corridor is a national issue also. And therefore, the national perspective would be that people would feel there was a sincere effort on part of the Modi government to ensure that this dream turns into a reality that cannot
They grabbed every headline to ensure
can't be
that
ignored.
Mr. Sidhu is anti-national. And today, look at them.
Correct. Sidhu right now on a firm wicket in Punjab. His popularity is going up. He's hitting sixer after sixer. That is the reality. I need to zip to Haryana. Otherwise, we'll leave out Haryana and that's not going to be a good thing. So I'll take you through very quickly the data for Haryana. We'll start with the popularity of the central government. In October 2018, 40% of the respondents said they were satisfied with the Modi Sarkar. That number is up 3%. So in Punjab, the popularity of the central government going up. In Haryana, the popularity of the central government going up. The level of people who are dissatisfied is down from 31% in October to 28% in January. So both those trends indicating the same thing. Let's come to the next question. Who do people want as the next Prime Minister in the state of Haryana? Here, Narendra Modi was already at a very formidable 54%. That number has gone up further to 56%. And Rahul Gandhi was at 35%. That number coming down to 31%. That is interesting, Gaurav Bhatia, because in Punjab and in Haryana, and this is some good news for the BJP, building up to the general elections, the popularity of your central government and the man who leads it is going up.
No, absolutely. And then again, we must look at all the three indicators. People satisfied going up by plus 3%, dissatisfied coming down by, 3%. And Modi ji's popularity again, it's a very formidable number of 56, gone up by 2%. And Rahul Gandhi's number is coming down by 4%. It clearly indicates that the good work done by the central government and the state government is yielding results.
Which essentially suggests, Tom Vadakan, that unless somehow the Congress can tie up with the INLD, which is very improbable, and secondly, not on the horizon at this moment, the BJP will do well. You know, I can't predict how many of the 10 seats they'll win, but they will do well in Haryana.
One parallel statistic that runs is the state of affairs of women, gender equality, and the rape statistics from the state of Haryana.
Where the data doesn't suit you,
if you run that parallel with the popularity of the present government, there's something seriously wrong. Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao and the crime statistics, I'm afraid there is something.
So let's now come to the popularity of the state government. How many respondents like the work of the state government? Khattar has been very unpopular. That is the reality. But things could be changing ever so slightly. From 30%, the number of people who are dissatisfied has gone up to 32%. That's not much, but at least it shows that he's not going down the pit. He's holding firm, if at all, bouncing back just a bit. The number of people who say they are dissatisfied, and this indicates essentially the same thing, is down 7% from 42 to 35%. So he's got a lot of brickbats. People think he's doing a terrible job, but the number of people who are dissatisfied with him in his state is coming down. That is consequential. Who do people want as the next chief minister of Haryana? 33% said they wanted Khattar. That's only 1 in 3. That number's actually gone up, not very substantially, but 2%. It picks a trend. All the markers indicate the same thing. The popularity of the state government and of the central government are both going up in Haryana. Huda is down from 33% to 28%. Ajay or Dushyant Chautala from 14 to 11. Arvind Kejriwal from 3 to 5. Now this is bad news from the Congress's perspective, Tom Vadakan, because all the 4 markers suggest the same thing. The BJP in Haryana, unlike popular perception where you think that the government is doing a terrible job, it's not as if it's become the most popular government in the country, but it's not going down the tube.
Well, that's what I said. There is some discordant note somewhere in the statistics that is available in public domain and your survey here. Point is, the crime situation, the plight of women in that state, these are factors that have to be factored in. Anyway, be what it may, we have a fight, we will put it up.
No,
Rahul,
but
can I just comment on that?
one second, because the point of caution, Sandeep Shastri, is that 35% popularity is still relatively low in comparison with, say, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, where the popularity of the state chief ministers was higher. In fact, Khattar's popularity at this time is the same as Vasundhara Raje's when she was voted out. So while he may have improved only relative to how badly off he was, he may be getting better, but he's still way more unpopular than chief ministers who got voted out in the recent assembly elections. Sandeep Shastri.
Rahul, can I make a point, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Rahul, you are right. The Chief Minister of Haryana has been a very low-key Chief Minister, and there has been talk of the unhappiness with the government. But I think the poll shows that the government seems to be recovering and the support for the central government seems to be also on the rise. But let me make another point. If you compare with 2014, the support that the BJP had in 2014, I think is not anywhere near what it is. I mean, it was much higher in 2014 than it is now. So while the support for the central government may have recovered, I don't think the BJP has reached the levels it had at the time of 2014 when you had a very unpopular state Congress government and a UPA government in Delhi.
No, what you're saying
Rahul,
is
quickly.
correct. No, one second. What he's saying is correct. But remember, in 2014, the BJP picked up 34% of the votes in the general elections and 7 seats. The Congress had 1 and the INLD had 2. The Congress only won in the bastion of the Huda family. So, respond very briefly, yes, Gaurav Bhatia, to the point that he makes. You may be recovering, but you're not close to your 2014 levels.
I would first say that your comparison to Rajasthan would not be correct for the reason that in Haryana, there are 4 major players. BJP, then it is the Congress, the INLD, and AAP also has presence there. So 33%, 35% is a very good percentage when you look at a 4-cornered fight. Second, about women empowerment, let's not forget that, when the Haryana government came to power, in 48 years, there were only 31 girls' college. Now 29 have been opened. You know, for women protection, the Criminal Law Amendment Act was brought that if a minor below 12 years of age is raped, death penalty would be attracted. And you know, Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao, there are many social initiatives that have empowered the women there, and it is having a positive impact.
It's not about the colleges, it's about the content, it's about the teachers, it's about the students.
Colleges. If there would be no colleges, where would the content come from?
And you can't protect the female. If you can't protect females, you have a problem.
We're out of time on this edition of the Political Stock Exchange. This has been a very fast-paced broadcast. We've covered 3 states, we've covered a lot of ground, and we'll be back next week with Karnataka. That's a crucial state. How is the Congress Janata Dal secular government in Karnataka, which is going to be one of the key battleground states for 2019, faring? What do people think of the central government? We'll come back with some answers. There's a lot of very substantive news points in this edition of the Political Stock Exchange. So I hope you enjoyed this 1 hour of number crunching. I want to thank Gaurav Bhatia and for Tom Vadakan for being very unlike normal TV guests, not fighting with each other, believing in the numbers for the most part, and making as much sense as they could. Sandeep Shastri, as always, thank you very much. We're slipping into a break. We'll see you next week with another edition of the Political Stock Exchange. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.